America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome, everybody. Hi, Jay.
Hi. Well, I see.
You mean. Okay. First thing on the agenda, we got, we all received a copy of the minutes and read them and digested them and everything. We need to.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 19th.
A second.
Aye.
Aye.
Wow. What are we doing?
319 and 24.
And I was listening the other day, 25.
Okay,
Second.
Yeah, there it is.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey, it's fast. He's fast.
The camera's on.
I know.
David's not gonna be cheap. We get a hold of him. We get to talk to Scott. I'll get a hold of him.
Claims and warrants, end of month, March 2026. $689,799.48. And for tonight's meeting, $278,033.92.
I'll make a motion to accept the claims and warrants.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
And we got a separate one for industrial supply for $248.15.
I move to accept the industrial supply warrant at $248.15.
I'll second.
On favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you get trouble with the one?
Really?
Yes, a jury. Thank God we took.
She just, something.
Sorry, the engineer.
Yeah.
Which one's industrial supply?
First one.
Got it.
Okay.
It's never been much fun.
Don't say this one.
She can get back in the room. We kept a couple of them. The operators. Not bad. What happened?
We got payroll warrants from 326, 42, 49, and 416, and the amount of $43,741.40. Bank reconciliation is at the end of the month, March 2026. Utilities, $2,433,504.08. For the town, $760.89. Payroll, $2,786.86. Customer deposit, $25,870. And Bank of New York, $46,169.41.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll warrants
Easy for you to say.
for the dates mentioned and the bank reconciliations for the end of
I'll second.
26.
All in favor?
Aye. Wasn't easy.
That's a county line.
We're talking to Emmett too much today.
The plan of the district. It's a little bit, it's like a PEI. It's like a feasibility. We're talking about the dress on. Shouldn't we put that to, community? You're like, no, that's the issue. No, yeah, it's good. Because they want you to region, right? That's not.
Actually, your name was longer, I could keep up here.
So they do total. $110 million. If they do everything, then they're gonna. The first part of it's like 10 to 15 per hazer. This is a county law. They want us to do. Three people. No. And then he doesn't even have it. And he was listed. Sorry. I got 350 something for this first day. They're gonna go to Jasper. Well, Jasper doesn't want the county involved at all. And he shouldn't. It's like this. Most of them don't want to be headquarters.
One water sewer leak adjustment request, account number 3095.00 from Jenny Taylor. Paperwork in.
I move that we, accept it.
Check.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
We got two billing adjustments, 0 for gas meter credit. Got one for $131.76 of previously approved, and water sewer leaks, and one $3,847.43, which is also pre-approved.
I make a motion, we approve the billing adjustments.
Second.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, we got a resolution 2026 dash 04-01. Well, the one Kathy sent the thing out, we had to review the state of Indiana approval for the financial report manual. We just need to approve it tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-04-01.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We got going on.
Me?
I know you want money.
Yep, not for me.
Oh,
Got, let's start with this. Pay application number 12 from MSI Construction in the amount of $1,319,094.56. Finally, making a lot of progress since the last time we met. A lot of equipment's been installed. If you guys haven't been in there, peeked inside, feel free to go over there. There's a lot in that building. It's jam packed. Like I said, they made a lot of progress. The biggest thing is Next week, they've got a lot. I started some startup stuff this week, but they'll start the majority of the equipment startup procedures next week. So there'll be a lot of testing that the town will need to do. Either Gary or Brad. We'll have 2 people on site. We'll have Casey will still be over there. But we've got Todd Solomon, who's been in the industry for 35 or 40 years. He's going to come up and help. We think MSI is going to need a little hand holding. So he's got some experience in testing, so he can help walk through what testing is going to be required, because they'll start up everything in kind of a little sequence. They'll do the first tank, make sure it's clean. We don't want any chlorine running into the RO part of the system. So they'll do the detention tank, then they'll do the transfer pumps. Once that's good, they'll do the filters. All this has testing that goes along with it. Once the filters are good, then the next tank is tested and make sure that it's meeting all the requirements. Then they'll start the high service pumps. High service pumps get tested, and then we'll make sure that the sodium bisulfite injection system is working properly, because if we send that's chlorinated water at that point, we'll have to make sure that there's 0 chlorine in that water before it hits the RO train, because if we hit that with any amount of chlorine, we just wrecked all the membranes, got to order new membranes and kind of start all over. Not all over, but the membranes have a lot to be replaced, which is pretty pricey endeavor. So we got some testing that goes along with that. And then once we get the RO system powered on, there'll be, if you haven't seen in there, there's a sink that has 16 sample taps on it, just like your kitchen faucet, except for it's got 16 ports on it, all for testing at different portions throughout the system. So I know Gary went over there this week, and he was pretty mind blown by how much testing apparatus and things like that are in that building.
He's operating one of those.
So it's got a lot of stuff. I think it's more overwhelming. It'll be a lot of the stuff that they've already done before. We order testing equipment. We had MSI order some testing equipment. We'll be getting a dealer's order for that. It's about $15,000, but it should make the testing a little easier. We had them splurge a little bit on the type of equipment that we're getting as a benchtop test. So water, dump it in, read you back TDS, read you back some of the parameters, nitrates, all that stuff is right there. So we don't have to send anything off. Eventually you have to send some stuff off, but not in the meantime. We'll be able to have everything tested on site so that we can get some instant results and everything. So it is going to be, like I said, Curita, who is manufacturer of the RO train, is supposed to be on site for 2 to 3 weeks to start off. Get everything. It's going to be a little hectic, and we're going to waste all water out on the ground. Not all water. Most of the water will be wasted out onto the ground right there, kind of in the, I'll call it the parking area for the ball fields. It'll come out of the fire hydrant, but it won't be the amount of flow you get out of a fire hydrant. Fire hydrant's going to flow close to 1,000 gallons per minute. In some instances, we're only going to dump 100 gallons per minute out on the ground. So it's a lot of water, but not crazy. It's not going to flood anything out with the sand that you guys got. We're going to waste for probably a week, off and on for about a week, make sure everything is good. Then we'll get the next well rehab. Well, number 1 will be rehabbed. And then once we get that done, we'll be ready to send water out into the system. Once we send water out into the system, so I'm guessing 3-4 weeks from now, maybe a little longer than that, you will get complaints of dirty water out in the system. So you may want to take vacation. And I say dirty water, that's not contaminated or anything like that. It's discolored water. We'll have already removed the nitrates and everything by the time it hits that, but we are changing the water chemistry so that it's going to start pulling some of the calcium and manganese that is built up on the inside of the pipes. Talked to Brad a little bit. They're going to flush. You're going to flush, get rid of some of the dirty water. It's going to build back up and it just pulls more of that out. You have to do some more flushing. So it's going to be a kind of an up and down process.
So when customers start calling in, what do we need to tell them?
That I can write something up, but along the lines of it's discolored water, it's to be expected. There's nothing that can be done to prevent the discolored water. We're doing everything we can to make sure we can. It's not unhealthy to drink. It's not unhealthy to use in any way. It's just
It just doesn't look good.
the inside of the pipes are being cleaned. as
So
it is.
like
It's just that.
normally when someone has an issue like that, we tell them to go outside and run their outside hydrant.
They should, if they see dirty water in their house, tell them to go outside and run their faucet just like you normally would. So it doesn't, and they can change their, the screens on their faucet, or not change them, but clean them out.
Clean them out.
There's just not, I wish there.
It's all that
something-
sediment and builds up,
Yeah.
it's just gonna.
Well,
start-
typically, when you guys flush your hydrants, you probably you get some.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be that,
It's
but
gonna be
maybe a
magnified.
little bit worse.
Yeah.
At least as we get started. We've added all of the chemicals that we can to help stabilize it as much as we can, but there's only so much we can do to do that. So you will get complaints.
Will we know when that's gonna happen?
Once we get a little closer, I'll give you a heads up so you guys can post stuff on social media or send out the text message alerts and stuff like that, so they're aware. But I mean, if anybody asks now, you can say here in about a month, you can expect these things. So
Yeah, we've had that happen. So there's another place in the state that's happening right now.
Hmm.
High turbidity, doesn't look good, but the water's always safe to drink. Except for, you look at it, oh, no, I'm not drinking that.
it will be safe to drink.
Yeah,
You won't want to drink it,
Yeah.
but it's safe to shower, it's safe to cook with. It's nothing in the water that's gonna be
Right.
unhealthy for you to consume.
otherwise you couldn't use it. So,
No, and we'll have test results if anybody questions if we can provide the test results that show that it's meeting all the conditions and it's not sanitary or anything like that. But it is gonna be a slow process for Brad and Gary. Very labor intensive at the beginning. So I don't know, Jay, if you got some help pointers you can help them out with, you've been doing a little bit down. in the
We were
past.
talking here just a few minutes ago after, we don't want a whole lot of people up there on the road, because it's gonna be crowded anyway.
So that's what my concern, aside from the contractor's scheduled startup for the filter, so that's West Tech, the RO system, which is Curita, the chemical feed system, which is Living Waters, the pumps, which is PVC pumps. One more. And then we'll have people up there, MSI, Freitag Weiner, we'll have people up there. I'll have to have somebody from the town doing the testing. We'll help as much as we can, but the testing will have to be done. We're not water operators. We can't legally test. We can point you out and help you out, but we can't legally test. So it's gonna be a pretty packed house up there for the first week or so. So if you get up there and it's too crowded, we'll have training after they get kind of that smoothed out. Because it will be kind of the chemicals that we're injecting will be a little bit guess and check. We have idea of where we're going to start at. So they'll dose, we'll be flushing water out and grabbing samples to see what it's doing, add some more chemicals, back it off, and kind of up and down through the process as it gets going. That's why we're wasting out on the ground. We don't want to cause issues out in the distribution system until we have to. And we'll want to make sure we have 2 wells for that.
What we'll talk about is sometime after it's kind of in the process of getting turned on. We'd like it for an evening session probably.
Yeah.
For all the board members, walk through, at least to know, to see what it's doing and what.
Yeah.
see
And,
where all that money was spent.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how next week goes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot more hectic than everybody thinks. Not everybody, but the contractor thinks.
yeah,
The contractor, I feel like thinks it's going to be turn all the disconnects on for the power, and
Yeah.
3 hours later we're ready to go, and it's not going to be that smooth. So let's see how next week goes, and I'll get with you guys about scheduling an evening walkthrough over there or a late afternoon or whatever works for you guys to walk through and see it. Hopefully in at least some operation at that point, cleaned up a little bit. Because I think last time I was in there was a disaster. It was a construction zone still.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to get through some of that stuff. They did backwash. Sorry to drag it on a little bit. They did some filter startup today. They backwashed the filters to get passing disinfection tests. So they did they slug you at the plant today, Bruce? With water?
Yeah.
They send a lot of water to you today. Did you notice?
No, haven't noticed. No.
So they were sending about 25 gallons per minute of water, which is kind of what we peaked out, so we don't kill you down at the plant. But they pumped that pretty much nonstop from, 8 a.m. this morning until probably still pumping at this rate. So they backwashed 6 times at 400 gallons per minute for 8 minutes. So they're about, I think it ended up being about 20,000 gallons of water that they're going to try to send your way. But they're sending it slow at 25 gallons per minute. So it's going to take till morning to get the rest of it to hit your plant. So we try to bleed it in as best we can without upsetting your system. And we are gonna watch.
It's already upset.
I'd say any more than already.
Yeah.
And anytime we do send any chemicals, so it's just water and they're sending water sending out. But anytime we get ready to send any chemicals, they'll do a test before the pumps can kick on to make sure we don't send anything down there that's gonna really finish it off down there for you. Do they have any questions with that?
Is there a motion on that payout?
No, I talked through.
No,
it.
yeah.
So we'll make a motion for the contractor's application payment number 12, is what it says.
Set.
Yep.
On favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Want you to sign those? I just need one more copy.
He's got it.
Oh, he's got it right.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of those is yours and one of those. So I have on the drinking water side, wastewater side is gonna meet Bruce and John and whoever else wants to come to Union Center next Tuesday at 10 a.m. We're gonna just go over the plans on the wastewater side, just to get Bruce's input and your guys' input if you're interested in showing up. It'll be just us going sheet by sheet, flipping through it to get any input. We've got plenty of time to make changes, but we've got a pretty good set of plans that make sense so that you can.
Next Tuesday, you said?
Yep.
What time?
I say 10 a.m.
10 a.m. You won't be out of bed yet.
I didn't do good at playing at 6 o'clock.
Well, with regard to the RO system, it's only the second one in the state. We're going to be, I talked to IDEM, make sure the operator's good.
I guess not to catch up, but IDEM did make a visit out there today with Gary. It's more of a show and tell for IDEM.
Yeah.
The two people from IDEM that showed up had never seen anything like it in their life. Completely mind blown by the whole fact. So they didn't care about anything. They just wanted to see it.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
So Gary is qualified. And talk to the issue, I guess, is that with IDEM and even with Gary, they're a little reticent about having contract operators that aren't spending time on a daily basis with the system. We've got some contract operators now that aren't even spending 2 hours. They just come and sign papers, you know, and this has been this way for a long time. They want you to at least spend a couple hours at the plant. Now, this is going to take a little bit more than a couple hours for the operator once, you know, right, especially right now. Maybe later on we get other people trained, you know, that's fine. You might want to consider maybe a backup for Gary. And then it's a discussion with him as well. Does he really want to do this?
Yep.
Is he going to have the time? And from your perspective, you want to make sure he spends time. This is, you know, I've seen some pretty high prices for guys just signing papers.
What level is that, a 3 or?
3. Yeah, I'm a 3. He's a 3. He's not. But.
The 0.
And I've done startups and as a resident engineer, and I don't want to see a startup, so it's okay with me. I've seen enough of them. I don't need to see any more. So it's something to consider, and that's a discussion I think you probably should have with Gary and telling him, no, you're gonna have to spend some time here. And I know he operates other systems, you know, so if he's got the time, that's fine. If he doesn't have the time, then, you know, you need to look, you know, you've got people living here that are 3s and you know, get people around that are 3s.
So
So,
have to talk to him about that backup too.
yeah,
If he knows somebody, it'd be a.
yeah, I mean, if you've got personnel that are going to, but it's I'm gonna tell you,
Lives right over here.
yeah,
He's a great water operator.
he's in
I'm
Kingman.
sure he would make a good, yeah, he lives
Yeah, right
right there.
Yeah, he operates Kingman's and I've known him for quite a long time. And coming out of operations myself, he's a good operator. He's very, uh, he cares about the systems that he works in.
I work with him every day.
He's easily trainable, so, on something that's new. So, and he's operating, right now, he's operating an arsenic removal system in Kingman. And that's not been easy.
No, I did it for 2 years. It's not
So-
fun.
You know, so it's something to think about. It's something to talk to Gary about. And if he thinks he can do it in 2 hours, I'm gonna disagree. I don't think it can be done once you have other people involved. But you know, he's the operator.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry. You know, I've done contract operations myself for a larger company, and you know, it's tough. You know, and some guys take up more than they can handle, and then don't spend enough time. And I think, and I didn't start to crack down on quite a bit of that. They cracked down a few years ago, and they let it go again. And now we've got a lot of issues with some of these operators that are contract operators. They're trying to operate 10 systems. Well, if you spend 2 hours a day, 10 systems. Well, yeah,
It's doable.
yeah. And how much hours? Okay. Anyway, no. So you know, it's one of those discussions you're gonna have to have. I work with Gary too, and then you know, but it is what it is. As far as EPA, there's some new circulars coming out. If you saw them for PFAS, which I'm thinking about, you know, they've got for PFAS and PFOA, which are the two elements. There are like you know they're like 4 parts per million for those. And I don't think you guys have not shown any, right? You haven't the testing you've done. I don't.
If I get some PFAS.
No, I typically in well systems, groundwater, you're not going to see that unless somebody's close to you and pumping stuff into the ground. But I don't anticipate that happening. And the issue with them is this is going to take a while because they're going to try to come up with funding on how they're going to fund systems that have to remove PFAS and PFOA. So it could be fairly expensive. I think our system should.
RO will take
Yeah.
care of
Yeah,
it, so
thing.
should be any issues for you guys.
90% of everything.
Yeah, well, you just have to get below the 4s.
Should be good.
So yeah, I don't think you guys are ahead of it. I don't think you're going to have an issue with that anyway. You have enough problems with nitrates. And of course, there's always stuff that they come up later. But right now, you know, we've got some communities that are really worried about it. And I'm going to sit here and tell you that no, I'm not worried about it. And they've got to come up with some funding anyway. And who knows how that that's going to happen. And other than that, Saturday, we're having our board training, 3 hours, 10 to 1. I do have, we have I have a flash drive that has all the information that RCAP puts out. So I can give you a flash drive, then you'll have it for the office. And, you know, John can have it or whatever. Or you can make copies for everybody. If you want copies for everybody, you know, we can do that too. You just have to, when we have the training, just tell me if you want copies and I'll give you a flash drive. So you have that. Then we'll have a sign-in sheet and then we'll inform USDA that you guys have gone through the board training. Like I said, 3 hours, there'll be 2 of us. Myself and Chelsea Grider will be here as well to kind of split in half. Questions. Dana will be here as well because they need the training. They've been RD has been very. You guys I don't worry about as much, but there are some systems that I worry about. And when USDA tells us no, they're going to do it. You know, and then I asked John if they, you know, if it was okay if you guys if they came here for that training, and they're required. They're definitely required to do it. So, you know, there should be probably 4 to 5 of them as well. So it's good training. For those, if you can't attend, we'll make sure that you have a copy of the booklet. that goes through all the, because we're gonna talk about technical issues, managerial and financial issues. So how the board's, what their function is with each of those areas. You know, like technical, basically we've got operators doing stuff. You guys are administrative and then also the financial and, financial through the court treasurer. So we're going through all that and there's all kinds of forms and stuff. It's not bad. We used to do that. It's a 3-day. And we're down to three hours. And the fact that we're going to do it on Saturday, which we typically didn't do before, but I don't want to see any more night meetings. I don't know if you want to, but I don't. So not good enough as it is. So that's why we did it on Saturday. So like I said, it's not onerous, the 3 hours, and we'll get through it. Yeah. I think that's it.
Thank you.
We got the phosphorus tank pumped out last week. Had a lot of sludge over the winter. It seems to be filling up with sludge faster because I think the sand beds continue to decline. The more they decline, the more sludge we get in that tank. So we had to get it pumped out kind of early this year. But other than that, we're in compliance. We're still hanging on. Skin of our teeth. So
If we pump before winter again,
we'll just have to see how
Summer.
summer goes. If we get the summer they're saying we're going to get, hot and dry, not much rain, we might be okay. I mean, yeah, it would be nice if we didn't ever have to do it again until.
yeah,
But we'll just have to monitor it and see how it does.
this outfit slow works with us.
Yeah, we were supposed to start up last month, right?
Yeah.
Almost got distracted with something.
Yeah.
According to Facebook.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Right. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Cindy?
Continuing on the sewer topic, I didn't get any feedback from anyone on the 5-question survey, so I'm going to assume we're good to go. Start the community survey. My school I'll work with Kathy and I'll do it so it's online, but so that they can post it on the town's Facebook page.
She don't have anything else going on anyway.
We'll get it all set up. She just needs to know it's there and put it out. Tasha, or whoever,
Well, I'm sure Bruce and them can find something for.
or John, whoever's doing it.
Well, I was looking at it. I forgot to email you too. That check went out yesterday morning. Yeah. For the state.
Okay. Yeah.
School don't work for us.
Wonderful.
So you got Cindy?
Yes,
Thank you.
for partnership hat, yes.
Diana?
The park board is presently meeting and working to gather historical information for the trail signs, the townwide walking trail. And so hopefully within the next 2 or 3 months, we'll be able to get those signs printed. We'll have a summary of whatever the sign is supposed to say, whatever topic. I have a copy. This is a list of the song, of where the location of where the signs are on the walking trail. And then we sat down and made a list. I've got scribbles on both sides of what information we thought should be on each one of those signs at those locations. And so we'll make a summary of what that historical information is supposed to be there. And then there will be, thanks to Cindy, a QR code on that sign where the folks reading the information can go to the town website and gain more information on the town website. So with Kathy's help, we'll get that posted. We'll get the information posted to the town website. And on that note, I told her that when I was trying to help her get all the flyers updated on the website, a lot of that information on the website is very old. and we need new updated pictures and new information. So I told her that I will try to help her get that updated with some new pictures and some new information. Because we've had a lot going on
Mhm.
and a lot of additions since that new webpage was started. So I told her I would help her do that. Okay, so we'll continue on that. We got the stage. We're planning for the 5K on May 16th. So if you're willing to be a race monitor or would like to help in any way, keep times or pass out sticks or what have you, we would appreciate that help. And the basketball court, John, I'm sure we're going to need new estimates on concrete and fence and goalposts. So with your assistance, I will try to get some new bids and get those to the trustee so that we could get that new basketball court built pretty quick. Now that the trailer's out of there and they're gonna be moved out, hopefully we can get that taken care of pretty soon. I've got all the old quotes right here. And so I'll get with you.
Okay.
If that's okay, and we'll try to get that accomplished. Okay, I know that you've been, Paul's gonna mention it, but I've got pictures. If you would like to see, there are 6 posts at Aztec Shelter that are rotted. And we had some faithful people that were driving their golf cart around town, and they noticed that these posts were rotted at the bottom. And so Paul has contacted, what's his name, Paul?
Levi Lab.
Levi Lab, and Levi's given Paul an estimate of what it would cost to fix these. And you want to continue with that, Paul, that conversation?
Okay.
Rough.
There's a picture of them. They're all on the east side, either the east or the west. Levi looked at them, and the best we can come up with, he'd like to, it'd take 2 days, but take the soffit material down around where the post is at, prop it up, take that post out, dig down if he can. Not sure what's going down there, a bunch of concrete or whatever, but pour the hole full of concrete, level it off, put a rebar in there some way, then get the metal pad for a 4x6 post, mount it on the concrete, then come back the next day and set the post. And he shot a price of $3,953 to do 6 of them that way. He don't have any idea how long it'll take to dig them out and replace them if we go back just like we got it now. It's just kind of impossible. So I kind of said probably the metal on the plate, probably the best we can do. And then what he said, I asked him, I said, what caused it? I don't think the building's, what we decide, Kathy, 12, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And he looked up and we need gutters on it. And all the water is standing right along the building when it rains. So that's our issue. That the north-south end ones are fine. All of them's bad on the side where it drains on the ground. So that's where the shelter's at. Okay?
Thank you. So that's an issue.
Yeah.
And we need to know where to continue from here on that. We obviously need to fix the posts and we need to put some guttering on the shelter as well. So I suppose the next step is to find out what it would cost to put the guttering in.
Doesn't make any sense to replace the posts if you're not gonna put gutters up,
I agree.
because that's going to be more good money spent after bad money.
Right.
That's the way they put flagpoles, American flagpoles in on the military posts on foreign soil. because you can't stick a flagpole into the foreign soil.
Huh.
So they do that, they build that thing up with a like spike and then put the truss down on it.
Okay.
It'll last a lot longer that way.
Oh, yeah.
It will.
I'm not sure why they didn't put why they didn't put the whole post in the concrete rather than just to make it flush, you know. I'm not sure why it was done like that. I'm not that savvy on construction, so I don't know, but you know, it probably would have lasted a little longer if it had been, if the post had been totally in concrete, but
Well, we just gotta keep that water off of it.
Yeah.
What kind of wood did they use?
Water's gonna, it doesn't matter. Water's eventually gonna wreck.
Was that womanized or
Yeah.
pressure treated?
Yeah.
okay, so do you care where we get estimates for guttering? Do you care where we ask?
I'm gonna speak up and say if we're using town funding, we need 3 quotes.
Okay,
Scott's working on a policy now because of a write-up from last year's audit. It's called the cost allowance policy.
okay,
He should be bringing that to the May meeting
cost allowance,
policy, which requires anything you plan on doing like that, you need at least 3 quotes.
and
From 3
sometimes,
different, sometimes it's hard, but
yeah,
if you send a letter or whatever to a certain company, you don't get any response, well,
that counts.
yeah, we just
Okay.
need it in a minute.
I kind of remember that from when we were working on the concrete
Yeah.
estimates for the basketball court, because we were not getting anybody to respond to
Yeah.
that. So they finally said that was
Good.
sufficient. Okay. Okay, so do you care where we get the estimates?
As long as they're licensed and insured, I guess.
Pardon me?
They just have to be licensed. and insured, yeah.
Okay. Okay, then, the other thing is, we finally got water in the river. And the doggone dock floated. And, Jeremy got the 10-foot extension in right before the floodwaters came up quite a bit, and it worked just great. The only thing is, we need riprap along the bank. And so that means big stuff. And, we've, looked into it, and it's gonna be at a cost of $31 a ton for the riprap. And there could possibly be a need for 7 to 8 tons, but who knows?
Oh,
It's
it's
gonna be more now.
gonna be more than that. It's
Well, I had written down, 7 to 8 tons times whatever.
yeah,
The trucks can, I was just going by
yeah,
what was
the
written.
trucks will haul 7 or 8 tons.
That's it. So we don't know how many loads, depending on how deep it is that
Yeah.
the riprap falls.
And Kathy, did you find out anything about?
Yeah, I misunderstood because I thought you were talking about on the boat ramp, not the boat dock.
Oh,
DNR won't.
Okay.
They'll do it around the ramp, but not
Yeah.
the dock.
the town, the park board approved $500. We would spend up to $500. Could spend that much because from what we were able to earn at the chili cook-off, it would pay for that much. So, we can afford to do that.
We didn't realize when the dock was put in, that we need riprap till after it was put in. Or probably could have got more money through grant or something. But that very north 2-foot round chunk of concrete, when the river was at 20 foot, it was so soft around that you could move it. So it's gotta have it. So.
Are you folks okay with us going ahead with that then?
Well, we're gonna have to.
Gonna have to be done.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
We just like to
Yeah.
get
I
approval
mean, if
before
it's
we.
that
It's
bad,
Yeah,
there's no point in having it down there if we can't keep it.
Well, I don't know whether he could have drilled the hole farther back away from the edge of the hill. Would have helped a little bit, I think, but that north post is sitting just
Right.
basically right on the edge.
Mhm.
And that's the one that keeps it from going down the river.
Yeah,
We don't want to,
So it's susceptible to erosion, so.
yeah.
Yeah. Every time the river comes up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll proceed with that. If that's okay with everybody. All right, the last thing I have is, we discovered, because I don't throw anything away, that there was a map that shows that the right of way on the north side of the railroad bridge extends 70.21 feet. So that means that we have room to build some kind of a nice shelter to put along the north side of the railroad bridge. And so the park board would like to, we've asked the help of Luke Waltz in trying to
Do a trail.
do it, yes, to do a trailhead glammed up area so that it's not just, oh, well, there's a shelter. We want it to look nice, and that railroad bridge is busy constantly. And we want to make it a nice place for people to come to. So he's going to do that for us. So that's just a heads up. And like I said, we do have a survey, and the name of the people that did this are on that survey. So Luke is going to contact them for the original to find out just exactly what the measurements will be. So we'll let you know more about that as time goes on. And then the other thing is that in the building of the dock, we had discussed that we wanted to have a station where people could come and get life jackets if they didn't have any. And in researching, Cindy has found a company that will take care of that. And so I'm going to let her continue to tell you about that.
Yeah, so there is a company that provides these lockers, basically. And I know with Paul and Kurt and maybe the fire department was kind of thinking about the life jackets, so I want you to weigh in as well. But they own the locker, they own the life jackets. It's run off a kiosk. So what happens is a person would come up, scan for their app, do their app on the phone, pay for it on the phone, and then the locker opens, they get their life jacket, go on their merry way, and then when they're done, they're supposed to return it. If they don't return it, because they've already got their payment information, this company takes care of all of that. You can set a fee of whatever you want on that if the town wants to recoup any funding, but most communities do it for $1. And that at least covers the credit card processing fees on this company's time. They would come in and do the installation, the maintenance, replacement of unreturned jackets. So basically what the town is responsible for or would agree to is to allow them to place this unit on their property. There is a fee. The fee for the life jacket lockers is $10,000 for a 5-year period. That includes all the maintenance, the replacement, everything that they would ever have to do. At the end of that 5 years, if you want that service to continue to stay, it will stay with no additional cost. They carry a $5 million insurance policy. When the customer uses the app to access this, there's a waiver that they sign that says they will never hold the town or that company liable for any injuries or anything that would happen. The company said there's never been an incident, but they have it in the agreement. If somebody were to try to sue you or that company, it's called fun times, that they would cover any legal fees. So that's within that agreement. So I'm asking this of you tonight just to see if you are okay if that was to be placed on the town property. I am going to meet next week with the Western Indiana Community Foundation. As part of their Blue Wave project, they got quite a bit of, I think like $3 million in Lilly Foundation money to do projects along the Wabash River. So I'm going to ask if that would be applicable to apply for them to cover that cost. And then the second thing I talked to this gentleman about, that the Blue Way funding is already set aside for, not necessarily in Montezuma, but our kayak lockers. So you can do different sizes, there's different costs. So a 12 kayak locker runs the same way with the kiosk. It's $25 for 2 hours and includes a life jacket. It's $45,000 for the same deal of over the 5-year period. Again, they do all the maintenance, all of that stuff. And again, at the end of the 5 years, if it's something that works and we want it to stay, it stays at no extra cost. Talking with the gentleman, he told me he's already working with the Blue Wave project and they'd already paid for 7 different locations to put the kayak lockers. I don't know that they filled all 7 locations, so I could have that conversation too, if you think that that would be a benefit, and again, placing that. I don't have the size of the kayak locker. I do have a kind of a small picture if you want to see it. I do have the size for the life jacket one. It's about a 5 foot by 2 foot. It's not a real big piece. They provide kind of like a cell phone booster piece, and that runs off of solar. So there's no electrical to be ran to it. They're responsible again because you know you're using your phone to do that. And I was like, well, you're in Montezuma, you're not going to get very many carriers working. And they're like, we do this booster thing. They cover like their phone numbers on the products. There's issues they have that they're not calling you, shouldn't call you. They have a place to call. We have more information to find out as far as like paying and costs and all that stuff, but just wanted to see if you were open, if we have access to that funding to provide those services.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sound like we, especially if we get somebody else to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Right?
More stuff we got, the more stuff we got.
We have to put that.
Get more people
And they-
to come to town.
And you do not have to put it on your insurance policy. They
They
carry that.
Is that above the walking trail that comes?
Yeah.
Nice. So good.
DNR side.
It's just, it's less hassle for everybody around here.
Bottom right side.
Just we got reimbursement from town. They upcharge.
So for the life jacket, if we wanted to charge $2, then the town could get some of that proceed back. The kayak is $25. I mean, because that company's taking care of replacement made, you know, and all of that, so we're not gonna get $25, but in the agreement, you could get some funding from that. I told them I didn't think really looked at it as a money maker because they're taking care of everything. But if we wanted to try to recoup some of our investment,
Yeah.
we could do it in that manner. They typically say the reason why after the 5 years that they don't ask for any additional funding is because it usually takes about 4 to 6 years for them to recoup the cost of the locker and their time of maintenance and all that stuff. So by that time, it's paid for itself.
So do they still maintain the
Yes,
everything after?
yes.
They take care of the foundation work and
Yeah, they do all the installation. I don't have a picture of, I have a picture of what the box looks like in the size. I don't have a picture of it installed to see how they do it, but we could ask those questions if we get a little further down the road with this.
So
Do they have a
town just has to
sample-
provide these.
Sample contract?
Yes,
Do they have a sample contract or agreement you could send to Scott?
and it is, they do say if there are certain things that you want in there, they are open to amend their boilerplate contract. I was gonna check into funding as well before we
Go
got
that
too
far.
far down the road. But yes, at that point in time, we would absolutely share what that contract looked like. I have a couple pictures. I apologize. My printer, evidently doesn't know how to do orange anymore and everything came out yellow. But this is what the, life jacket locker box looks like.
Yeah.
So you would, that's the top once it's open. And they do have adult and child size life jackets in there.
And that's like a 2-hour period or?
No, the life jackets, we didn't talk about any time frame on those. It was just the kayaks. And this is the picture here at the top. You want to pass it around, Kathy, that shows what a kayak locker box looks like.
So when you get in there, you open one, that's all you can get to.
Yeah.
You could take more than one. It will recognize if you take out more than one, and then they've got your payment information, so they're going to charge you. So I'm sure there's some, when you do it, there's some agreement that if you take more than what you paid for, it costs you. And there is also through the kiosk in your app on your phone, you pay, you do your waiver. There's also a very brief safety video that you also have to watch. And I'm sure that's part of their insurance, deal. So
Yeah.
that is included as well.
Yeah. I mean, something like it'd be on that.
I think it's a no lose.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
lose.
we get it.
Yeah. And it's gonna put our boat dock to good use and
The kayak launch on
the
the.
kayak.
Yeah,
launch,
yeah, because it does have that on there.
Right.
The other thing I was going to add to Diana, I'm sorry, I'll wait till we're finished with this question.
No, I was gonna say, I went down to the barber shop down Terre Haute where I go every day and the guy's been in every kayak around there. Since he said he just wants some water in the river
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
If that's possible, can you take care of that?
So you don't have to carry your kayak.
Yeah.
Well, I know the areas that they're cleaning up for Vermilion County with that Blue Way money are along the big Vermilion. So they're trying to get in place. So the part that would work, so if they're on the big Vermilion, end up on the Wabash. So if they rent their kayak in Vermilion County and then come down and meet in Montezuma, they can actually return it to that locker. It will recognize that because it'll all be on one system.
What if it's full?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So what they recommend doing is if you get a cage that has 12 kayaks, is only fill 8 spots and leave 4 empty, and then that way you've got
There's somebody coming.
the access to
That
return.
makes
Makes sense. Sounds good.
That's good.
The other thing I just want to add to Diana's glamping up the trailhead at the walking bridge is we're trying to get this together because we'd like to apply to the Community Foundation for the Gift 9 program that they have for grant funding. So that's why we're pushing and getting this done, is so that we can apply for some money there.
And I also wanted to not forget, we've only had 30 surveys completed for our 5-year park master plan. And in order to complete that, we have to have community input. So if any of you have not filled that out, please do so. And we would appreciate it. I don't think I have any of the QR codes with me now. I passed them all out the other day, but
Or have an event that we can find.
if you have an event that you would like to leave these laying out, we'd be glad to provide those so you could give them to people. So it's important to know what people want to see. I mean, we have ideas of what we would like to see, but we don't really know what other people in the community would like to see in the parks. So have that information. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Have you
you.
passed out to the churches?
Pardon me?
Have you passed out to the churches?
Well, no, we've got Keith's church, but I don't know where else to, I mean, we can. That's a good idea. The Christian church, I guess.
Yeah, just an idea.
Okay.
Real quick on your 5K, what's the registration time and when does it start?
Sorry, with,
7 a.m. registration, walk, run starts at 8.
gosh,
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
We will be there at 6 if you want to volunteer.
And we have changed our, portion of our funding will go to the Chase Bennett Scholarship Fund instead of pink. In the past few years, we've done pink, and we really haven't gotten very good response back from them. And after we've donated, so we felt like this was a really good opportunity to help someone locally, and so that's why we changed it.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
We got one extra thing. Since this is a federally funded project and we're federally funded, our national office has asked us to do a write-up on this project. It'll go in their national magazine. So, you know, kind of like asked for permission to be able to do that. So I've taken pictures of the project as it's progressed.
Oh, good.
So I'll be doing a write-up for that. That'll be submitted to the national office, to EPA and which one was this one? SRF? Well, that's EPA. So they'll have reports, project reports on this as well from our perspective. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. I mean, if you don't want us to do it, I don't know how to get around it, but but I'm just going to tell you we're going to do that. So when I was telling the situation is, I'm not interested in going out to your plant until it's completed. I've been done it enough anyway. But anyway, once it's completed and it looks good on the inside, and there's not a lot of crap, and there's not a whole lot of people, then we'll go in there. We'll take some more pictures of the finished product, and then we'll submit those with the write-up. And like I said, once it gets published, we'll get you guys copies and stuff like that. So, but it helps funding, helps EPA to see that their money was well spent. So
When Cindy, Mike, that brings up, when Cindy attended the meeting, one of the meetings she's attended, she was told we need to do more ribbon cuttings in town. And maybe the RO unit is one, we need to do a ribbon cutting there. We did a grand opening for our dock, but there's many times we just complete a project and we say, well, mark that one off the list and go on to the next one. We don't think about trying to celebrate what we've done. So,
well, your funders have no problem.
pardon me?
Your funders have no problem you doing that.
I'm sure that's true.
We probably
If you,
should.
if you guys want to have a ribbon cutting for it, I can certainly, or we can, I probably won't do it, but this, our office can certainly set something up. Ribbon cutting like
I
that.
think we
Yeah.
should.
Should.
Yeah.
We've done them before.
Glass water.
We've had multi-million-dollar $23 million projects. We had all the board members there, engineers and well, people that helped with the project. And then they have a ribbon cutting, and it's just good. The funders see, the community, they see that you appreciate the fact that you gave the funding.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's not gonna hurt anything at all.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your state reps and senators really need to be invited as well.
Yeah.
They like to see what the communities are working on. I mean, granted, it's a photo op for them as well, but it helps them understand too, the programs that you're using for funding are working.
Well,
Yeah.
the only thing I have to say about that is
Support those.
if you can convince the state to also provide monies versus just using federal monies, because all the funding is federal. So, we've always harped at having environmental committee and stuff like that, but it wouldn't hurt, for you guys to throw a little bit of money here.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You might.
Work on that.
State
I'll work on
senators
something.
might-
All right, thank you.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
federal.
Yeah.
Federal.
And we have field reps. I mean, I know them all too that could attend it and
We ought to be, the application ought to be ready to come out. Surely we're gonna be running by November.
It'll probably rain.
We better be running.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. Thanks for your support. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
For your efforts. I'm good.
Sorry about
Okay.
that.
We need to talk for a
It could have been
while.
worse.
Yep, 12 runs last month, 7 this month, 39 for the first,
Now
off to a bang.
3 today.
3 of them more today.
Yay.
Crazy day in town, huh?
Take care of yourselves. We're gonna get tired quick at this pace.
Thank you. And we're, John,
Before I forget, Kersey sent out an email from the high school wanting the sports teams to try to support the 5K.
Thank you.
My question is, well, I know that our team in particular plays in Attica at 10 a.m. We're gonna have to leave the school by probably 7:30, so it's not possible. I see some other things out there. I think you're gonna get a big draw just because of, what you're contributing to. What's the chances of doing like a virtual option for, I mean, I see them do where they still pay an entry fee, they just do it on their own.
Well, I think I know a woman that could probably make that happen. No, I mean, yes, you can.
It's not a bad option. He is pushing it hard
Then
now.
we could just have, because Kathy allows us to use the town website for people to pay their registration fee. So we could do it that way also.
That was just an idea. I thought,
Okay.
'cause I'm sure that the girls on the team would love to attend it, but
And we had special medals this time, red, white, and blue for our 250th with a special extra medallion commemorating that as well. So that'll be kind of extra special too. And all the plaques will commemorate the 250th. But yeah, I feel like we could make that happen
I
somehow.
mean, obviously you can't include them in like the awards and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah, they won't be able to.
Maybe
get
somebody
those.
that's walking or running could do like the GoPro and have the path. If they've got something like that.
Okay,
Just an idea.
okay, thank you. We'll work on that.
Brad handed me a couple quotes this morning.
Okay.
We've been kind of trying to replace some street signs here and there. There's the two quotes. You're more than welcome to give input, whether you think that that's something that we want to spend money on or something that we don't want to do. Nobody's going to have their feelings hurt.
No, I will not.
But while you're reviewing that, I'll go to work on the rest of it. If you didn't know, Kean Ali returned this week as the intern, so glad to have him back. I don't think it's any secret now that the nitrate results are 14.4 milligrams per liter for.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about that.
Scheduled to start the new water plant up on the 21st, which is Tuesday. It's coming Tuesday. Obviously, we're not going to push water to the city for at least 30 days, like was just discussed. Something that is important that I didn't see anybody reply to Kathy on is this AIM webinar. It's kind of going to give you education on preparing for the countywide local income tax discussions. I signed up for it, so I'm going to do it, but it would probably be beneficial for one of you to do it too. Bruce already.
Yeah, when was
Next
it?
week.
30th, because I can't watch it. I got a celebration of life, so it's the 30th.
And her email has the registration link.
Yeah, I
It's
just
free.
forwarded the whole thing.
Bruce already covered that we're meeting about the sewer project Tuesday at 10 a.m. in here. Mike covered that the USDA-RD training's Saturday here from 10 to 1. We had to order 2 new grinder pumps for the community action housing over here. See invoices that are larger than normal. They're 24 or $188 a piece roughly. Nothing from IMPA yet on the disposition for the spare transformers. I need to reach out to him, see if he's got that information. The utility crew was able to meet with IMEA for a safety meeting, so that was good. They've done a lot of focus on trimming trees and removing trees around. If you've been out and about and seen them working, potholes have been filled. He said that the concrete barriers have been placed at the new boat dock. And under the old business stuff, cemetery cleanup was completed. I don't know. I'm just keeping it in front of us. IMPA gave us their plan, but nobody ever gave any input on what we wanted to do there. So I don't know if that's a special meeting or how you want to handle it. This is twice that we've asked them for a price. We just need to like
Yeah.
do something or not. But if we don't do anything, I really don't, I would prefer not set in another day-long meeting with them and then
Yeah, yeah, I agree. What's the thoughts?
Well, I think it's a very good service that they offer. A little pricier than we're doing with REMC, but I think the service would be better. for me. We got poles that once they're identified, I think they become our liability.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, the red tape around them is now pink. So
that's just something to think about. That's a big decision. I don't think we're gonna make it tonight, but we don't need to forget about it.
right.
Paving plans, I haven't really, you got a list? Okay. Are you gonna cover the yard of the month? Is that on your agenda? Cause I got it in my notes. Okay. And Brad said that 6 to 8 of the picnic tables have already been refurbished.
Thank you.
They're kind of doing them as time allows. They prefer to polyurethane them outside because
Oh,
the
yeah.
ladies in the office.
I
don't
heard
like it.
And
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll let, this is a topic that we probably need to talk about. I think every department head is in charge of their building. That's my understanding. Like if you need something taken care of, you're gonna reach out to me and say, or Brad or somebody and say, hey, we've got a couple lights not working. So Brad went into the library he unlocked the library to spray for insects and was met with backlash. Yeah. So I'll let him explain that. If he started screaming that this light's been out and that light's been out. Freaked out.
and they were entering the building to spray for bugs, which that's on his maintenance plan.
I was unlocking the door and I could
What's
hear
our
her
building?
screaming inside.
And she won't come to a meeting.
No.
I mean, she,
But those guys shouldn't have to go through that. That's
no,
our building.
absolutely
No,
not,
no.
absolutely not.
The town owns that
That's what I was
building.
gonna say, it's our building, why?
It's his responsibility for the upkeep of it.
Yeah,
Well, we had that problem before when
With the leak.
when the leak, because
Yeah.
nobody said anything,
She supposedly told everybody.
somebody's, anybody could have done it, it was everybody's job, but nobody did.
Mhm.
That's what happened.
and,
But she hadn't made a call already that there were lights out or something.
no,
No,
That's the first
no one
I've heard of
knew
it.
anything. Okay.
That's the way to do business.
Well, Scott sent her a letter having somebody attend every 3 months so they could report stuff like that. But no response.
and, well, Cindy said it's, the county gets the same response we do.
Oh, I know that.
Well, did she not say they changed the hours on the library for her to be able to attend our meetings when she was here that one time?
But then she said that it was unsafe. She told me it was unsafe for her to leave the girl down there by herself while she comes down here.
But
Because
the
the
letter
town marshal's
stated,
in the meeting.
stated either herself or one of the board members to attend.
Yeah,
Well, something needs done.
we're gonna have to talk to Scott, see what other avenues we got.
Who does she fall under for the county hired him?
Advisory board.
Yeah.
Library.
board.
Yeah.
Do we have the library board in for a meeting?
Yeah.
They won't come.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
Do we go to one of their meetings?
Bad my word.
How about that? What if we showed up?
what if we have our meeting down there? It's our building.
Yeah.
Right?
Used to, didn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Some's gotta give.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to get Scott and see what avenues we can explore for that.
Before I move on, I just need an answer on what you want to do with the street signs, or if you want to do them part of here and there, or
There's some of them pretty faded.
Yeah, I know several that was,
And you really notice it after you change some of them. And then-
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one that you didn't, so.
I know I can't make a decision because it's me, but can I input?
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is make sure that the quality that you're getting, I don't know if you've ordered from this company before, but you would hate to have them fade. You know, you see the quality at the, on the signs in the
Sure.
cemetery, and we've done a few, I think, in town. But just make sure that they're quality before it is half the price. Those signs are half the price. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you want to compare apples to apples or,
Have you-
just.
have you ordered any?
You're really supposed to when you get a quote. Like,
There's a few
when
signs
you
around
say
there.
you wanted to get a quote, you're supposed to.
And
get
quality
3
wise,
different
they look.
companies,
They hold up.
the same.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's all I ask.
But we do have history with the other company. And it's acceptable.
Yeah, they seem fine.
Okay. Well. They definitely need replaced.
That's what I say. I feel like they need it.
John, do you know if the school has a GoPro camera or anything?
That I don't know.
I wonder.
So it was just,
if
about
one
half,
of the
wasn't it?
kids that did come
It's up
to
for
wear
vote.
one, and we'll find out.
Yeah, I like that, but. I don't know. If they're doing it on the cheap like that, then I don't know how I'm gonna last.
Mhm.
Well, these last street signs, was Jerry Wiseman put them up when he was a town employee. How long's that been, Kevin?
A while.
30 some years.
Guess they're pretty good quality then.
Yeah.
They're proven by test.
Somebody make a motion first to do something.
I'll make a motion to replace the
Signs
signs.
with.
I don't remember who we were looking at.
It's one of them. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't remember the name of the other,
I don't know.
the
Econos.
Econo signs. I mean, if he said they're decent quality and they've lasted,
It's a motion made.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to the police side, 56 calls for service, 2 felony arrests, 1 misdemeanor arrest, 6 citations and 6 warnings.
That was a warning.
you were the warning.
That one did 7 warnings.
Yeah.
Under ordinance stuff, there's been 2 vehicles removed over on Ida Street, 404. We got the camper moved off Ida also. Unfortunately, it just went over the hill just outside of city limits. But, it is outside of town. Property at 379 Mile Street is cleaned up. Yeah. Looks incredible. I've started hand delivering the townwide cleanup reminders, some identified issues. I will hit that tomorrow. That's goal number 1. Try to get that stuff out. And I just want to remind, I think this is a good spot because I hope people watch this that need to remind the residents to keep their animals either fenced or tied or tethered or tied up, however you want to say it. The significant portion of our call volume is animal complaints. We don't enjoy writing citations for dogs, but unfortunately, when they make up a significant portion of what you do, you got to take some sort of enforcement to try to curb the behavior. So. Outside of that, it's business as usual unless you guys have any questions. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Saturday, the cleanup, when's the gates gonna be open?
9.
9. I have to drop my junk off early.
Yeah.
Yard of the month. I've got a couple. Anybody else got any? North end, I'm thinking of 404 Patterson and 667 Jefferson in the south end.
667.
Yeah, 667. There's not a whole lot of flowers and stuff, but some people got blooming trees and stuff, and they're doing a good job taking care of the grass. So
My yard's got a lot of flowers and yellow.
Yeah.
You know, you can make tea out of those.
Yeah.
They're tough.
But, other than that, that's about all I've got.
You got any other recommendations for your of the month?
Nope.
Guess that would be it then.
I was out driving around and there's just not a lot growing.
Kind of got to look for flat grass and
Yeah.
maybe some blooming dogwoods or something. It'll get better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul?
I got a list of 8 different streets. I'll just read them off. You guys think about them. Water Street north from the bridge to Wilkerson Street and to Blacktop that. It needs milled down first, and the water's gonna go in Nathan's and Mark's. And then it needs blacktopped all the way from Water to the new blacktop up north of just about the corner on Water Street where it quit.
Yeah.
Crawford Street, east from Water to the alley. And that's the gravel area by the sidewalk, if we can do that to help with parking. Iva Street from Strawberry Road to the new blacktop on Blue Street. And that's just a block and a half. South Street, Madison Street to Jefferson. And that's a street White Crowd lives on. That tells you that's South Street. Washington Street, starting at C Street, and C's the place where they blacktop up to one time. C Street north to US 36. And as much heavy traffic as we have there, we need to protect that road.
Mhm.
And then we got Water Street south from Adams Street to Plum Street. And then Plum to Madison and Aztec Drive, all of it.
Plum's pretty high on the list of.
Yeah, well, this is no order, just the way I wrote them down after driving them, and so some of them can be scratched if we've got too many.
Let me take a picture of that.
Okay.
We need to-
Wonder about Washington Street because was it Nathan that said there's gonna be
A lot of work.
Yeah.
nonstop
Yeah, that's
traffic?
why I said on Washington Street from C Street to the 36.
To
Yeah.
protect it more, you mean?
Yeah,
We'll have to match that up with what the survey said or whatever.
and that's that. And then the other thing I have, John got a call about me the other day. And my truck had broke down and I parked in front of Mark's to get a brake fixed. And he got called by Nathan that I was parked on the wrong side of the road.
Can we get?
So- So,
The way your ordinance reads, it's a no parking zone.
yeah. So can we amend that ordinance? And that's gonna help Dean Gregg too, because if he stops to move his desk to get in his lot, he could give him a ticket. So it needs amended, whereas the driveways are free parking for the owner of them, I guess, or something.
I guess what I'm saying, what he's trying to tell you, and what I'm interpreting it as is the way your ordinance reads. If I let Marty work outside of his shop door, it appears like I'm not doing what I'm paid to do.
Yeah.
And he asked about that while he was here about his driveway
Yeah, he did.
several times.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He wanted to
did.
protect himself, yes. On that. You were right.
But, I mean, how much, is 3 cars strung out in front of the building acceptable, or, I don't, the way it reads, nothing. I mean, there's nothing.
Driveway width.
But he's saying, but he was trying to say his whole thing is a driveway, because how he parks.
Well, I think
And in
he's saying
front of the
that on
thing.
the lot north of his building, but
Yeah.
I was parked on his concrete where you drive in the building. And this cop got
Well, I mean, the cop is doing his job.
yes,
Yeah.
and I told him to do what you gotta do.
Do you need a little money to pay that?
No.
We could
So
take, we
anyway.
could take it out of petty cash,
Yeah.
So I,
because it is petty.
I
Well, I mean, is
told
there-
Mark I'd bring it up here, and he
So is it
offered,
during business hours?
yes.
So do we need to amend it to where if it's his business hours, but then they're gonna say his business hours need to be used the parking too? So how are you gonna amend it to make it?
I don't know.
Any suggestions out there?
Scott figured it out.
There you go.
Yeah. See what it gets wordsmithing goes
Make all
on.
money on it. Some- yeah,
It's gotta be able.
Although,
yeah, he has to,
Gotta be able
exactly, that's why,
$9 note.
but Nathan's gonna say he's gotta be able to run.
They all
business
sat
and
here and
have
agreed to
parking.
that.
Get it, but it's not.
Well,
And so we,
I know.
but
I am.
I think maybe it's wrong that we did.
that's, but the bottom line is we had to do something because they couldn't come to an agreement amongst themselves.
yeah.
And Scott told them multiple times, if the town gets involved, nobody's gonna do it. So I don't want to impede on anybody's business. And the last thing I want to do is go down there and take parking complaints all day.
Right.
You're not gonna win no matter what you do.
No, said 15 years ago. Absolutely not.
I do think it's ironic that it was.
Was already
you.
happening.
Mm.
Thank you.
Probably because he was me.
Yeah, only because it wasn't you. It
Yeah.
had to-
Yeah,
Or you could have changed the whole story and said, I know a guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, we'll
So,
put that.
so what do we tell John to do?
Everything.
Because when I went and talked to Marty, I just very kindly asked, like, hey, the way the ordinance reads, you're not supposed to have anything parked there. And he firmly told me, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I've done it this way for 40 years and I'm not gonna change the way I'm doing it. Do what you gotta do. So am I supposed to put Paul's 3-tired car on a tow truck at that point? I mean, that doesn't seem like morally the right thing to do.
No. I guess maintain,
Legally, you have to change the ordinance before you can do any different.
and then that,
You need to
yeah,
talk to Scott.
we're not gonna do anything once we get it changed, or you gotta post it, and then you gotta wait 60 days or 30 days, whatever it is.
You have to have a hearing, it's gotta be published.
No.
Oh, boy.
That-
Okay.
No, Scott can research it.
You
Yeah.
can amend that ordinance, but you still gotta go through
Just
the
got through the
process.
process.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
That's all I have.
Hmm.
Sorry.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything.
I can't follow up after that.
Kathy, do your thing.
I make a motion to adjourn.
You're always doing that.
I know.
Good job.